Available now. Link below.
In tonight's special report, we dive headfirst into the heart of a political storm that's brewing within the GOP. Nikki Haley, once a beacon of hope for some, now stands on the edge of a political precipice, steadfast in her claim to dethrone Donald Trump for the 2024 Republican nomination. But the numbers tell a different story. Poll after poll, Haley trails behind Trump, her ambitions seemingly mismatched against the hard facts of voter preferences, yet she refuses to bow out, igniting a firestorm of criticism from within her own ranks. What drives Haley's unwavering conviction despite the mounting evidence against her? Is this a tale of admirable perseverance or delusional quest doomed from the start? As the GOP faces this internal clash, the stakes couldn't be higher. Stay with us for an unflinching look at the truth behind Haley's battle cry against Trump and why this defiant stance might just be the GOP's most consequential showdown. You don't want to miss the critical insights and our final thought on why this matters to every American watching. Before we dive deeper, a quick word from our sponsor. Crucial to our ability to bring you tonight's report, just as Nikki Haley's campaign struggles against the odds, most of us fight our own battles, particularly with health. Excess belly fat, much like unwanted political outcomes, poses a significant risk, pressing against our core, threatening well-being. That's why we've turned to a groundbreaking solution that attacks the problem at its roots, supporting weight management and boosting metabolism. This product, backed by science, is your ally in navigating the challenges of health, much like we navigate the turbulent waters of politics. For a limited time, enjoy a 51% discount at trimwithgary.com. Don't wait. Visit trimwithgary.com today. Your support keeps our mission alive. Now back to the story. In the high-stakes game of political ambition, Nikki Haley's latest gambit has stirred not just one pot, but the entire kitchen. Claiming she'll beat Donald Trump for the 2024 Republican nomination, Haley's stance is more than just bold, it's bordering on the fantastical. Despite trailing significantly in every poll, her refusal to acknowledge the mounting odds against her is not just a matter of political resilience, but a glaring misjudgment of the battlefield. This is the heart of the investigation tonight. Haley's determination to continue her campaign against the overwhelming tide of support for Trump is not merely a personal endeavor, it's a puzzling strategy that raises questions about her political foresight. In every corner of the GOP, from the grassroots to the upper echelons of party leadership, the message is clear. Trump is the frontrunner, the preferred choice of the Republican base. Yet Haley's persists, undeterred by the stark reality that her campaign is viewed by many as not just toxic, but potentially divisive. Take a look at Nikki Haley in her own words. During a recent interview, her confidence is palpable, but so is the disconnect between her aspirations and the political climate within the Republican Party. Take a look.
So obviously you're running in South Carolina, and you've told me that you plan to be around, well, obviously you want to be the nominee and then the president, but you're going to be around at least until Super Tuesday. If the unthinkable happens in your view and you do not win, will it be difficult to support Trump as the Republican Party's nominee, given what you think about him, quite obviously?
Well, first, I think that you need to know that I am going to beat President Trump, but you should ask him if it'll be difficult for him to support me.
Well, I would, but he doesn't do interviews with anybody who's not friendly, and you know, on the program with him, and he's already made it clear that he does. I mean, he didn't sign the GOP pledge in 2016, I don't think, and he's certainly not signing it now. So I'm sure he would say no. But I guess are you not going to commit to voting for him if he becomes the nominee?
Well, what I'm saying, well, I said from the very beginning when there were 14 candidates on the stage that any one of the 14 would be better than Joe Biden. Right now, you see what's happening with Joe Biden. I think for the good of the country, the Democrats need to find a new candidate. They know that. Everybody knows that. And I think there's a time, I don't think that Joe Biden's going to end up being the nominee. I think that there is a time that's got to turn over. And the party that gets rid of their 80-year-old candidate is the party that will win. And that's what I'm trying to tell Republicans right now. This is the time that we need to be sober and start realizing what we need to do to fix things. We can't continue. You look at what happened last week. Here, Trump loses the immunity battle. He'll now be Citizen Trump. Republicans lose the situation with the border. They lose the situation with Israel. The RNC chair loses her job. The RNC is broke. Trump has spent $50 million in campaign donations on his personal legal fees. That is not what you need to win an election. And it's a pattern of losing that everything he touches, he loses. We saw it in 2018. We saw it in 2020. We saw it in 2022. How many more times do we have to go back to the same person and say, and then finally decide maybe he's the problem? Because I know he's the problem. Now we need the rest of America to get in a voter booth and show that he's the problem.
Critics within the party have not minced words, accusing Haley of not only harming her own political credibility, but also potentially damaging the GOP's prospects against Joe Biden. The consensus among these critics is clear. Haley's insistence on continuing her campaign is seen not as a display of political courage, but as a misguided endeavor that could cost the GOP dearly. During a time when the Republican Party is rallying its forces, aiming for a united front to recapture the White House, Haley's campaign is viewed by many as an unnecessary distraction. The focus, they argue, should be on consolidating support behind Trump, who has consistently led in the polls and demonstrated a formidable ability to galvanize the Republican base. In a recent interview, Haley assumed the inevitable of a female president, positioning herself against Kamala Harris. While the sentiment may resonate with some voters, it underscores a critical miscalculation. The 2024 election for many Republicans is not about breaking gender barriers, but about reclaiming the presidency with the strongest candidate. Trump, with his proven track record and unwavering base, is seen as the candidate. Haley's attempt to shift the narrative to a battle of historical significance may appeal to some, but it fails to address the core concerns of GOP voters focused on victory in November. As we approach this election cycle, the calls for Haley to reassess her campaign grow louder. The GOP is at a crossroads, facing the challenges of uniting behind a single candidate to ensure victory. In this pivotal moment, the party cannot afford division or distraction. Nikki Haley's refusal to drop out of the race, despite the overwhelming odds, is not just a personal battle, it's a looming question mark over the GOP's strategy and unity. Before we head into our final thought, an important message from our own Gary Franchi.
That's right. In the run-up to the 2024 election, it's clear that the true battleground is the mind of the electorate. The silent coup is your shield against the barrage of manipulations and half-truths from the political elite and their media mouthpieces. Equip yourself for the fight. Your copy is just a click away. The link to this indispensable tool is in the description of this video. Now back to you.
Thanks for that, Gary. Make sure you tap the link in the description. Secure Gary's new book, The Silent Coup. And now for our final thought. The saga of Nikki Haley's refusal to bow out of the 2024 nomination against Donald Trump isn't just political curiosity. It's a stark reminder of the high stakes involved. Her determination, while commendable on a personal level, risks the fracturing of the GOP at a time when unity is paramount. The Republican Party, our republic, needs to stand together, focused on the bigger picture, defeating the Democratic nominee and reclaiming the White House. Haley's continued candidacy in the face of overwhelming evidence suggesting her path to victory is virtually non-existent, serves as a distraction from this goal. For the sake of the party and the conservative values we hold dear, it's time for pragmatism to prevail over ambition. The future of our republic depends on our ability to unite behind the strongest candidate, and currently that candidate is Donald Trump. Thank you for watching. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe and tell a friend.
Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.